that music come from? I've never heard that before. I like it. Woo! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to rock and roll. Feeling brave and showing up. Well, hello there, Charlize. Isn't that what we all say? We're just feeling brave and showing up. You never really truly know what, when, and how. But we are here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry. We were not supposed to be here this evening. We had no intentions of being here this evening. I had such a bizarre day and evening last night, and I was so happy to not be live last night. And I immediately then thought, man, tomorrow night's going to be even better. No Friday night live show, no Saturday night live show. I'm going to be able to get some work done, and then we're going to come in on Sunday, and we're going to kick Sunday in the teeth. It's going to be great, ladies and gentlemen, because very important, and I need to start this out. Please, if you're watching this episode, know that this episode is going to be a good episode. It's going to be a big episode. That's the reason we're here, or else we wouldn't be here. And that being said, we have a big show tomorrow. And that show is episode 21. 21 of the big The Political Spotlight shows. Episode 21 is Common Decency versus The Thin Blue Line. Interview with Officer Roger Humphreys, The Political Spotlight. We're going to have him on. Man, I cannot wait for this interview. This is an interview that I have literally been I've been wanting to talk about since this event occurred, but it wasn't for some of you guys that said, hey, what have you thought about having him on? And I thought, well, shoot, I should ask. So that's tomorrow night, folks. Make sure you tune in 9:00 p.m. tomorrow live. But why are we here tonight? Well, we're here for two reasons, and two reasons only. Basically, it's a really easy thing. We're here to do two things. One, I am here to talk with you all about Mayor Dan Ridenour's $45,000 date night. That's tonight, ladies and gentlemen. $45,000. I mean, dude, he could have bought her a ring for a lot cheaper to celebrate some anniversary. He could have taken her down to Indy. Ellie could have taken her to anywhere in the world for cheaper than $45,000. Or he could have given her any amount more than $45,000 as long as it was his own money and wasn't taxpayer dollars. Unfortunately, folks, we, the citizens of Muncie, are paying tonight's date night for the Ridenours and a couple of other people in Muncie. And when I mean a couple of other people, I mean just a couple of others. So we're going to be talking about that. And then on the backside, and this is something big that I need to talk about. Yesterday, while I was driving home from up north, we had a lovely day yesterday. Family, we had a funeral, and it was a great service. And I got to see some family that we have not been able to hang out with in a while, and so we were able to do that. But then while I was driving home, I became aware of the fact that Channel 13, WTHR in Indianapolis, was going to be doing a 5 and 6 p.m. post on Sheriff Sproles, on the shooting, the beanbag shooting in Henry County. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is big news. We broke this story I was the first media outlet to break this story. I was the first media organization, Kate, Brandon, and I, the team, we were the first organization to break this story. And this is back when we were still under the bastards. So Josh was involved with this. We were the first people to break this story. Not one day, not 2 days, not 3 days, not 4 days, but we were the first people to talk about this incident with Sheriff Sproles for a full 6 days before literally anyone else mentioned anything about this. After the 6th day, the hometown newspaper finally broke the story that there had been a use of force incident. But when they did so off of the sheriff department's press release, and it contained a factual error. It did not state that the sheriff was the one that made this incident. So you're going to have to forgive me, folks. We are in the point of the year where I'm dealing with a little bit of sinus and throat issues, so I want to apologize up front for that. I'm a little raspy tonight, a little we'll say that it's who is it? I always forget. A little Alex Jones, especially if I get mad or get really ramped up. I'm sure we'll be breaking into the Alex Jones tonight. So be on the lookout there. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So they did their news story last night, and the news story they did lasted 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And it looked like, I was like, wait a minute, did Travis Week write this? Did they literally just write a Travis Week? Did they just cover a Travis Week story? Because it looked like it was basically pro Sproles, did no further investigative work. It didn't talk about, whether this was okay. It didn't say one of the most important things of the story, and that was that the firing of this weapon was at point blank range. So we're going to get into all of that. I've been hearing from a lot of people that were very unhappy about the news piece that they did last night. I don't know if their investigative team is going to be looking further into it. I don't know if that's just done. I don't know if any other news organization in Indianapolis is going to be dealing with it, or if it's just done. But we're not done talking about it here. We're not done spreading the news, and we are going to get into that. But before we get there, ladies and gentlemen from all over the world, first and foremost, we do need to break into the story here about this date night. And if you give me just one momento here, uno momento, let me do this here to make sure we're every place we should be. Looks like just because I wasn't supposed to be here today, I want to make sure that everywhere has coverage. And it looks like people have done their jobs. And I got it out where I needed to get it to. So it looks like one more second here and we will be good to go. Whoop. How do we get that? How does that pop open? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So as some of you, maybe some of you knew, some of you did not know, tonight is the 2nd. We are well into the Labor Day weekend. For those of you that are supposed to be working Monday, but you're off because of the holiday, isn't that amazing? Wonderful holiday for you there. For those of you that will be working, we'll be working here. For all of the law enforcement, the firemen, paramedics, doctors, everybody like that. Monday's just another day, but for everyone else that'll be off, isn't that special? And hope you enjoy the day. And have a good day cooking out, enjoying it. For a lot of people, they call it the last official day of the unofficial day of summer. I don't like to look at it that way. That's really, really horrible. And I don't like that. I say you kick on that for as long as we possibly can. And see what goes on from there. I listened, someone said that it's Labor Day is the last day that I cook out. And I heard someone else say, well, we cook out until literally we can't stand to be outside for long enough it takes to cook a hot dog. And I was like, well, hell, that's the last couple winters you've been able to cook out all winter then, because it's just not been that bad. So this is just it's the way you perceive it. This doesn't have to be the end of anything. For a lot of people, they like to see the fall. Fall is actually one of my most favorite times of year. It's my favorite season. I like fall. I like going into the Halloween season. It starts to get a little darker and you tell spooky stories. I always like, of course, we get into election time and all of that. And then you get into the Christmas time, and I like that, the holidays. And I always like Christmas up until the first of the year. And then once it's the first of the year, I'm like, okay, let's get the heat on and let's rock and roll into spring and summer. But, okay. So one thing that I want to tell you guys before we get going on the, oh yeah, I know, Mary, we're going to have you on again for the 2nd annual talk as well. So we'll be preparing that. We need to figure out something. We need to start putting our heads together and figuring out what we're going to do. I identify as fall all year round. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, while you're here, I know a lot of people are off doing what they do. It's a Saturday night. I know I wasn't supposed to be here, so I know a lot of people probably don't even know to check in. I literally didn't say I was coming on, but if you can, make sure to hit that share button. If you haven't, hit the like. We need to build the channel up, folks. We are still building the channel. We are a baby channel. We are starting over from scratch again, so we need your help. Hit the like, hit that thumb button there, hit the subscription button. If you are not subscribed, hit the bell so that you get notified when content. And I want to say this because I'm hearing this kind of this thing that's been being told to me over and over and over and over and over and over and again. When you hit the subscription button, you only have to hit that one time unless you're someone who has some kind of issue with it, and you might need. Some people unsubscribe it and like kind of rock it. They unsubscribed and they subscribe back or whatever, and that's okay. You guys know what you're doing. But for most people, you just need to subscribe. Once you subscribed, that's all you need to do. Once you hit the bell for all notifications, It's not like work that you keep doing over and over and over. It's not like you're doing any kind. It doesn't require you to do anything. You don't need to put in a credit card. It doesn't ask you for any information. It is absolutely free to subscribe. It doesn't require any work. It doesn't require anything from you. Go toggle, do that now while we're here, and be done with it. But then share the show also. Copy that link, hit share. And when you're sharing the show, please do me a favor. Make sure that you are sharing the YouTube link. Anyone that's here from Facebook, I love you. I love you. If you have to or want to watch from Facebook, watch all you want. Just understand, when you're doing that, you are missing out on a lot of the comments, because most of the people that are here are commenting on YouTube. So you're missing out on a lot of the comments. The only comments that you're seeing is what's put up on the screen. And those are, just hit and miss or whatever. So just understand that. But if you could jump over to YouTube, if you like where you're at on Facebook, no problem, no worries. It is what it is. It does not hurt anything. But I just ask that when you share our stuff, please share the YouTube link, because we're trying to get as many people on YouTube as possible. All right, the last bit of housekeeping. Here it is, 2023 municipal election. Candidate interviews are coming. Muncie, Newcastle, Winchester, Anderson, Indy. I don't care where you're at in between, some small town. I do not care. Elwood, Portland, Richmond. Those are just some of the biggies. Any and all candidates running for office in this current 2023 election season, we will be reaching out to you. However, if you want to get a jump on it, if you are interested, please submit an email to tpsprogram@gmail.com with your name, your office that you're running for, you're seeking or running for re-election, and a contact number. I'm going to tell you one more thing. If you want to submit a headshot, or the shot that you want us to use for your picture, you're more than welcome to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to cob it from someplace. And so that's just how that is. So please do this. Even for those that do not reach out, we're going to reach out to everybody. I believe that we're going to have some Republicans as part of the ordeal. So I think that we will I think that we're going to be okay with that. I mean, of course, we're not going to have everybody that I would like to have. We're not going to have everyone that we should have. We're not going to have everybody that probably the audience would like to have, not because of us, but because that's how they do things. And that really sucks, but it is what it is. That's part of the problem. That's why we're where we are in the world today. And so that's just kind of what goes on. So I hate that, but it is what it is. So just understand that, we're going to try to have everyone on as possible. So, but for those of you that are out there that know somebody or are somebody, please, if you want to get a head start, send us your stuff. Now, I want to make sure that does not mean don't text me. Don't text it to me. Don't message it to me. I'm asking everyone to do it in email, and I'm asking everyone to do it at that email. I want to put these in a very easy to read section and make it easy for all of the team. Alva, I mean, I don't know who else is having an election. I'm sure there are other people currently right now having elections in other states. I mean, if you got somebody out there that that you want to hear from your area, if somebody wants to know, I've interviewed other people that I've had no clue who they've been because someone's asked me. some senator candidates, or I think a candidate for governor once from Tennessee, maybe. So I don't care. I'll ask questions. I don't matter me one. I'll talk to a politician or a candidate from anywhere. If you know somebody that's running for office, get them to me. Lenny, you know somebody that's trying to take over up there? Get them to me. I'll do them. I've got no problem with that. No problem whatsoever. So, yeah, I've got no issue with that. We'll do it all. Hey, Kate, I just sent you a picture to Messenger. Can you put that in overlay just when you get a chance? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be talking right now then about the mayor's date night. The city of Muncie, for those of you that do not recall, the city of Muncie, a while back, the Star Press ran an article, and we've talked about it here. We covered it, that the mayor of Muncie decided, for one reason or another, to use $45,000 in edit funds for Don McLean to come to Muncie and come this way. You know, now, what is what they said? Was it live streamed? I don't know if it was live streamed. I don't think it was. They had it live at the Village, obviously, and it was a free concert, so anyone could attend. But I don't believe they were set up probably with the sound equipment that they would have needed to live stream it. So no, in all fairness,
I didn't see anything on the City of Muncie's page as a live stream of the concert. So if it wasn't there, I can't imagine they streamed it somewhere else.
I looked for it and I didn't see it. As you just heard Kate there, we didn't see it anywhere. So I don't think so. But anybody could go. Basically they would need to have a licensing fee. It would have been copyright. I mean, they definitely couldn't have live streamed it on YouTube or anything. Although that's really interesting because, like, if I snagged Don McLean and I wanted to have Don McLean come in here and sing his song, then there, it was I'm not a big fan of that, because I don't know what would happen if I had Don McLean here playing his song. Would we get a copyright strike? How do they know? It's like, hey, it's Don McLean. It's here. He's playing it. So I think that's kind of bull crap, but they don't make that easy. So I don't really know. But yes, Lenny, give me just 1 second. Let me finish this kind of thought, and I will get there. I did talk about that kind of in longer detail a couple days ago, but I will kind of give you kind of where I'm at with that here in just a second. So Muncie acting like they got money to blow. How cute. Yeah, I know. Isn't it crazy? It's not. No. Don't get it wrong. It's not Muncie. It's just this specific mayor. It's just this specific mayor that's doing that. So basically, this has already been covered. We covered this. Singer-songwriter Don McLean will be the first act to take the new stage at the Brown Family Amphitheater on campus of Ball State University. This September 2nd concert, featuring the folk rock artist who recorded the hit American Pie more than 50 years ago, 10 years before I was born, will be free to the public, and the event is becoming somewhat of an issue in the campaign for mayor, as it should. Obviously, as it should. Incumbent Mayor Dan Ridenour said he spent $45,000 in an economic development economic development income tax money to bring McLean to Muncie. Ridenour, a Republican who doesn't act like a Republican, is seeking re-election this fall and has been criticized for spending edit dollars to stage the free concert. The event will be a little more than a month ahead of the early voting for the general election. In the larger scheme of things, $45,000 isn't that much, says his opponent, Jeff Robinson, president of the Muncie City Council and Democrat candidate for mayor. I think a city where many are homeless and are going to bed hungry, we need to get our priorities straight on where we're spending our money. He said concerts can be a fun, but perhaps not the best way to spend public money right now. Definitely not the best way to spend edit money. Maybe if the mayor would have wanted to take this act before the city council and allow the people to voice their opinions and allow the council to vote, maybe that could have been something we'd done. But when we have an out-of-control mayor that's just doing what he wants with money with no input from anyone else besides his own kind of sycophants, then the question becomes what's going on there. All right. It goes on to say, Ridenour responded to the Star Press in writing, saying that he viewed the event as a great investment in the citizens of Muncie, as he does when he normally makes other ignorant and stupid deals. A functioning city needs to invest in quality of life and pride in our city, he wrote. We invest in Christmas lights downtown, development, concert series, Muncie fireworks, Prairie Creek fireworks, a homecoming festival later this month, when we see how that turned out, and other festivals so that our citizens can enjoy free amenities that make life better. I think it's more like so they know that they're not being just shat upon by the local government, is what he's trying to get at there. What is it? Give them bread and circus. Other cities are offering the same concert starting at $70 a ticket. We wanted Muncie to be able to enjoy an iconic performer for free, and I stand by that, primarily because I'm running for re-election right now. He went on to say that the price tag includes hiring local companies for sound, lighting, and other production values, and the concert contributes to local economic development from tourism. A headliner like Don McLean will draw visitors from everywhere who will eat and shop even when staying overnight in Muncie, the mayor contends. A Hall of Famer performing here helps our residents and tourists recognize that Muncie is on the map. I feel like he might really not have his pulse on what is hip right now. All right, here is what really blows my mind. Finally, Ridenour said hosting the event at the new Brown Amphitheater will solidify Muncie's relationship with Ball State University and continues to build the town and gown connection that other Indiana communities struggle with. All right. Listen, for anyone to buy the fact that we need to help solidify a relationship with Ball State University, if Dan truly believes that, then he is out of his gourd. There's no issue between Muncie and Ball State University. They are synonymous with each other. It's a relationship that has been forever. They're not going anywhere. This is nuts that he's saying this. And what he's doing is he's saying just enough for the low information voters out there to see this real quickly in passing and think, oh, look, Ridenour is really doing something. Bye-bye, Miss American Pie. It's more like bye-bye edit fund tax dollars. I just don't know that this was a good purchase. I didn't think it was then. When was this story originally published? July 13th. I didn't think that this was good on July 13th, and I don't believe that this is good now. So I want to show you basically a view from the stage, okay? This is what we've got going on. This is a view from the stage. How many people we want to call that? I told you guys the other night, I'm not good about doing these type of things. How many people do we want to say this is? I'll leave it up here for a second for everyone to decide. Okay, because remember when we were watching the video of the shooting, okay? When we were watching the video of the shooting, we were trying to say how much it was, and the city was saying, "Whoa, that's not as much as what they're saying." And keep in mind that this is technically half of the crowd, maybe a little more than that. I've got a couple different angles. But I question now. And that's Stumblefoot News has it there. My question is, was this worth it? Is this worth it? And I just don't know. Oh, maybe 2,100. I don't know. I'm trying to look and see if we can find. Let me get to the other picture here 1 second and show you kind of what we're looking at here. Let me okay. So we'll do it this way. Where was it that got sent to me? Yeah, okay. We'll do it this way. The other view, and that's the reason what I wanted to do was I wanted to definitely get a point of view of literally as many angles as possible, so that I didn't have because I knew there would be people saying, "Wait a minute." It's only 150 in that first section. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so here we've got this. So this is obviously a section here. Let me take this down. And so we've got this up. If Don passes out in the heat, they're half a minute from the hospital. So there's that. So here's obviously a picture. Here's a picture. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, I'm going to say this. I think it's about a wash. I don't think that this was what the mayor hoped it would be. I don't think that he is understanding where the heart and mind of his citizens are at. And I just don't believe that he is in touch with what normal people are saying, oh, yes. Well, no. Not Monday morning's paper. Whoa, Alva. Oh, man. Listen. Do we include the guy with the guitar? Monday, we don't have a paper like that. We don't have a paper that will be out Monday with any kind of news from today in it. This news might be out in the paper like on Wednesday, if we're lucky. It might be online. It might be online Monday or Tuesday, but the print edition will cover this sometime on Wednesday. Charlize says a week from Monday, if that. Oh, Joe Tompkins, we're just talking about the mayor of Muncie spending $45,000 on date night. I just want to know, the city of Muncie spent $45,000 on date night. Are we all going to get lucky? That's what I want to know. So, I don't know, man. I think that this was very piss poor management. This is what happens when you have a mayor be an economic development director and your economic development director be your mayor. This is what happens. Because when the economic development director is also running for re-election, you get stupid stuff like this happening. Uh-oh. We're going to see what this news is that Charlize has. She's got some news that's going to... Charlize, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm betting that most in attendance, if you would have said, if you would have told them, sorry, I don't know what just happened there. If you would have told them that you required a ticket, they would have paid. The people that went to watch this, I'm a music aficionado. I love music. Like most people. I'll say this. I love my dog or a dog or dogs like most people love their spouses. And I like music like most people love their dogs. So, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to put it into a perspective there that you all get. And Don McLean is definitely an old dog I wouldn't have a problem taking out back and putting down. Not a show that I was interested in going to see, and Muncie likes to give it away. Now, that is a show he could have paid $45,000, and we could have give it away now. I would have been fine with that. Red Hot Chili Peppers. But now Sproles is going to say, you want to marry your dog? Oh, step in line. He won't be the first, and I'm sure he won't be the last. So, yeah, I don't know. My thing on this is what really matters to me is I want to see if the politicos now call this move out. I want to see what's going to happen because here's what I'm going to see. We're going to see because keep in mind, literally everyone running for office right now, save for the clerk candidates should have an opinion in this. The mayoral candidates should both have an opinion. Of course, we know what the mayor's is. We should now hear from Jeff Robinson on this. And then we should hear from every one of the council candidates because they are they are a part of the fiscal body. They are the fiscal body. And so we should be, this is definitely a question I'm going to ask every one of the candidates during our interview process. What do you believe should be happening with Muncie's economic development money? Are you happy with the economic development money and the way that it has been being spent in the last 4 years? Or do you see a need for a change of how that money has been spent? Oh, man, I can't wait for this interview process to begin, folks. We're going to have just an absolutely amazing interview process that's going to be fantastical. So you're not going to want to miss that. But I cannot wait to speak with, and hopefully I'll have a chance to speak to all of the, the mayor candidates too, and make sure that they are, happy with everything going on. Now, we've got to have a chance to talk with them about everything that's going on. We've got a video here from deep inside the audience. I'm going to have to mute this, unfortunately, because I don't want to get a live strike. But yeah, here's what we got to do. What year of this term did Dan quit giving edit dollars? What year of his term did Dan quit giving edit dollars into the general fund? The first year of his term? In year 1? Love Shack. I get that joke there. Here we go. Here's where we are from deep inside. I don't even know where in Ball State this is. Where is this in Ball State? How many of these funky little amphitheaters do we need in Muncie? Don't we already have one on the Cannon Commons? Like, why do we need 2 of these? Do we have this many outdoor band festivals coming to Muncie? We have so many that we now have a main stage and a second stage. Man, that's going to be an awful long walk for people who are enjoying the festival atmosphere. We got to walk all the way across town to get to the main stage. Man, I wish this person would have done a wide sweeping. I don't know who this is exactly. But there we go. There's a pretty good group number of people here. I'm not gonna lie. But listen to me. I'm gonna say this. Unless this was like a blowout, I was going to have a problem with it, because I just don't think it should have been spent this way. Unless we needed to call in the National Guard because we didn't have enough cops just to get traffic going, I just was not going. This is not, bottom line, this is not a win. This is not an economic development win. It's a good night, a fun night, a happy night maybe for Muncie. But at the end of the day, this does not make up for what Ridenour has not done. This does not turn the dial for me. So that's all that is. I'm going to be following this. We'll be listening to what kind of nonsense they turn. Before we're getting ready to switch to Henry County. I know we got some Henry County people here. We're getting ready to go into the Channel 13 news. So I want people to know that we're getting ready to kick over to watch that. But I just want to tell everybody from the whole Dan crowd, okay, that, whoops, what's that? I need that music to stop playing. Bottom line, I don't want you to play. Because what they're gonna, I can already hear it. Dan brought in so many people. What Dan did was so amazing. It was so beautiful. It was so crazy. Dan's such a good guy. We love Dan. Everything Dan does is wonderful. I saw this earlier and I was like, man, this is something for Dan and his friends and everyone else. Hey, friend, politicians don't love you. You shouldn't love them. It's weird and embarrassing. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of this. This is just a little PSA. I should have saved this for the postscript. Damn it. Well, I will save it and we'll pull it back around. 18 trolls. That's what we're going to say. We're start saying that everyone that is not hit a like is a troll. 2 people in the audience are estimating something. 2 people in attendance are estimating something less than 1,000 in attendance. That's what I was going to say. Listen, at the end of the day, it's less than 1,000 people. It's 1,000 or less. So I wonder how many out-of-town concert people came in. So let's say this. Let's say there's 1,000 people. Let's be nice and say there's 1,500 people. Okay? 1,500 people. You got 1,500 people that came to Dan's date night. That's what we're officially calling this? Dan's date night. So you've got 1,500 people who came to it. I don't know anything about how they advertised this, really. I mean, I didn't see anything else. I didn't see anything that, looked like this was all over everywhere. I mean, did people in Anderson know about this? Did people in Winchester know about it? Did people in Newcastle know about this? Did people in Indianapolis know about this? I mean, how many other amazing events did Indianapolis have in Indianapolis that would have kept people in Indianapolis? Also, keep in mind, this is Labor Day weekend. It's one of the second or third busiest traveled holidays. A lot of people are off at the lake. A lot of people are down at the beach. A lot of people are doing that last trip to Florida or doing that last trip to Dale Hollow or doing the last trip up to the lake to Tippy or to Dewart Lake or to Wawasee. I advertise it more than anybody. Absolutely. So, maybe they should, Dan, you should throw me a little bit of that $45,000, eh? What do you think? I'll tell you what. You keep the money and just give me Corey Bory Fink. I'll take her on our team because I think once we get her brainwashed, she's definitely a pretty good soldier. So you keep the money and just give us Corey Bory Fink, and we'll call it even. You can keep Charlene. We're trying to build up here. Oh, that was like a shot in the dark. All right. So here's the deal. 1,500 people. Okay. So let's say that half of those 1,500 people came from out of town. 750 people came from out of town. All right. Of those 750 people, how many came from so far out of town that they needed to get a hotel room. I could have started a podcast company. Oh, damn it! Why didn't I get PPP or API or anything? That's amazing. So 3, Alva, out of 750 people. Oh, what are you saying? All right, you say it. You say, listen, I'm trying to be overkill, over nice to them. Let's ask this. Let me ask you this, Jackie. All right, if we're saying there's 1,500 people there, Miss Fisher, how many people do you believe, if we're just going to say 1,500 people's there, how many people do you think out of that 1,500 would have came from out of town or not from Muncie or a surrounding community in Muncie? Oh, I don't even know. Delaware County. Out of 1,500 people, who's not from Delaware County? How many numbers? How many numbers? Anyone in the audience, if you want to throw out, all hotels are likely booked already. Are they? Are they booked already? A 100 people outside of the town. So the hotels are already booked, so they stayed in Anderson. So we've been helping Anderson. People literally stayed in Indianapolis and ate and had fun in Indy and then drove up here for the concert. Holy shit. So I was being generous. Okay. See, I'm not good with this number thing. I mean, I was trying to be nice. Here I am trying to be nice, and we got people up here that's like
jewelry that we get more people than that from out of town at the asylum in a week.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, sure. Yeah, right. And well, let me ask you this: do they drive?
Yeah, they drive.
They drive.
They go to the restaurants in town. They buy gas at all the gas stations, snacks and stuff. A lot of them will book the hotel and stay in the hotel, like the next day so they can get some rest. Yeah. So, I mean, we bring a lot of people into this area that would not come to Randolph County, but for the spooky stuff.
That's true.
Last night we had 23 from out of town.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, so by your numbers, you had half of what Don McLean had.
Yeah.
By Jackie's numbers.
From out of town, anyway. Yeah.
Is that right? That's pretty amazing. Well, so Muncie needs a spooky asylum. I think we have a couple of them. So there were more people starting in line waiting for the food drop to start. Oh my God. That's probably really true, and that's sad. And that's what's sad. My airfare was a bit restrictive. Well, Lenny. Maybe we can start a GoFundMe to see if we can get Lenny here for the next time Don McLean is in town in 50 years. So, well, all right. Let's say 150 people are from out of town. Of those 150 people that are from out of town, how many of those 150 people are not from Anderson? I mean, like literally, for the love of God, if 50 people are from out of town, Jackie, I would say all 50 of those people are from Anderson. Because really, that's the only out-of-town place people that we send people back and forth from Anderson to Muncie. So it's like, I don't ever go to Anderson and think, oh man, I'm partying in Anderson. I better stay the night here. I'm like, oh God, it's Muncie. It's Anderson. I'm in Anderson partying, and it's nighttime. I need to get the hell out of Anderson and get home to Muncie. I don't want to be staying in Anderson, and I know that the people of Anderson, they feel the same way. They're like, I'm not staying in Muncie. I'm going back home to Anderson. You know, you're not found two cities that, you know, no one's staying over here if they can go home, or vice versa. So let's just do a live on air check. We'll see. Muncie, Indiana, hotel. We'll see what goes on here. Courtyard by Marriott. All right, we'll call down there. $163. We'll see. I've stayed at this hotel a time or three. And I live in Muncie. Don't ask. Well, hello there, Zach. Do you have any rooms available for tonight?
Unfortunately, we're sold out tonight.
You're sold out. Is it because of that Don McLean concert in Muncie?
Yes, that and a wedding party we have staying with us.
Oh, well, all right. Well, yay rah. Okay, I'll see what I can do elsewhere. Thank you. Bye.
Great night.
You too. Okay, so yes, it's that, and he was real quick to say that, and a wedding party. So, okay. Hey, look, maybe it's like people's like, hey, we didn't have to pay for the ticket, so we can drop some money on a hotel. There's not even any fun places to party in Muncie. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest problem. You're right. There's not. Muncie's kind of, I mean, as far as hotel blah. So yeah, I definitely get you. That's a thing. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna call one more. We'll call one more. Anybody? Hampton Inn next up. All right, we'll call Hampton Inn. We might call two more, see what goes on. Hampton Inn. Where's the Hampton Inn at? West Bethel. All right. Man, this one's always full, though. They're always full with the hard hats. The workers that are out of town. Yes, hi. I was just calling to double check. Do you have any rooms available for tonight, or are you all booked up? You do have some double queens available. Do you know about how many of those you would have? You have 5 double queens available? Okay, and what's your cheapest room for this evening? Okay, well, let me check and see what we're doing, and I will get back with you. Thank you. You too. Well, there you hear it, folks. All right, I had to get my phone plugged in there. We were going to be out of luck. They've still got 5 double queens. What's that mean? What is a double queen? Two beds? 2 beds and 2 beds and 1. Watch it there, Charlize. What? What's a double queen mean in the hotel world? What's that mean? Two beds in 1 room? So there we go. I don't know, man. Interesting. Listen to Ridenour come on tomorrow or on Monday, and he'll be like, and every room was sold out. We did everything. It means party of 4. Don't you smash those beds together? It's like a California king. That's the best bed, is a California king. It's like a square. You can't. There's no one in the world has sheets for it. It's horrible. So the Hampton Inn, that's a pretty big. That's a pretty big hotel in Muncie. I've never been at the Hampton Inn. Where's the Quality Inn? What? Oh, Holiday Inn. All right, last one I'm calling is Holiday Inn. Oh, I bet we don't even get a local. I bet we don't get a local number with this. Well, we're going to call anyways and just double check, but I bet they won't give us a local number because it's Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn and Express. We'll see. That's a 289 number. We'll see where this goes. This is riveting. I swear to God, we're getting to John. In-house. Hello, me and about 46 of my friends are looking to see if you guys have any rooms there this evening.
We do not.
You're all booked up.
All we have is, you said 46 of your friends. We only have 10 rooms left to sell tonight, sweetie.
You've got 10 rooms for tonight?
Yeah.
And so you can't get all 46 of us in one room?
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Have a good night. Well, so, man, they've got 10 rooms. Holy crap. So, I don't know who's staying put, but if some of you can come on, they've got 10 rooms. So this not boding well for the hotel aspect of the evening. Now, listen, that doesn't mean talk about yeah, right. Now that doesn't mean that the food industry is not getting something out of this. I don't know how long this show is going to go. You're going to have people. 4 persons per room seems absolutely seems reasonable. So I don't know why we couldn't. She seemed like that was out of. I wanted no. I wanted all 46 in one room though. But so that there's going to be people who came here and ate ahead of time, or who ate ahead of time and then will go out and party afterwards, drink and whatever. So look, we're going to see some money, but the bottom line, we've talked about this way too long. This was stupid. It was not a good way to spend $45,000. And this was a campaign stunt, along with literally everything else he's done for the last 4 years. Dan has had 4 years of campaign stunts. So onward to Henry County. All right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this about Henry County. Party at MCL. I don't understand what's going on with this Sproles video. I really do not understand what's going on with this Sproles video. Show ends at 10 p.m. Well, that's 7 minutes ago. So people are going to party now. So I've been trying to send this out to like literally everybody that I know, and nobody was like taking a bite on it. No one was like, I mean, you know, they weren't saying anything about it. So it shocks me. You know, listen, I'm not wanting to try and start like a Kenosha. I'm not trying to get anything burnt down. I just want people to give a damn and to maybe not reelect this idiot, maybe get the FBI looking harder at him or something like that, and figure this nonsense out. Okay? So I want to show you what I've been looking at here. Let's see. Doug thing up here. Right? Oh God, no, that's scary. Get that off the screen immediately. What was that? AI is weird, man. Don't pay any attention to the creepy AI video that we were just watching. Okay, here's the Henry County Sheriff defends. Listen to this guy. Literally, Henry County Sheriff is up to his eyeballs in this mess, and he defends his actions. He should have told these people no comment. He should have said no comment. But instead, he just said, yeah, I'll comment. I'll do all the commenting. Okay. So I want you guys to see this video first. Let's watch this. Okay.
That's the Henry County Sheriff using less.
You kick it again and you're going to get another one. Don't care.
That's the Henry County
Charlize.
Sheriff using less than lethal beanbag rounds on an inmate who was inside a locked cell.
Our Rich and I went to Newcastle today to get that video and talk with the sheriff who says the use of force was justified.
Marquette Neal is 6'4", 250 pounds. He was in the Henry County Jail July 6th on a probation violation for possession of meth. Corrections officers moved him to an isolation cell for not following orders. Henry County Sheriff John Sproles says Neal previously threatened and injured jail staff. In that cell, he started kicking the door. Sheriff Sproles says his staff made it clear to him for some time that this inmate wanted a fight with jailers. The sheriff says he sent messages back to the inmate that there would be no physical confrontation, but they would gain compliance if necessary by firing beanbag rounds.
You kick the door again and you're going to get some rounds, okay?
Neal kept kicking. The sheriff kept firing non-lethal beanbag rounds.
All right. You got some more rounds because we'll go all night.
All right. All right. You got some more rounds because we'll go all night. Now listen to what this idiot says next. All right. Listen to what this idiot says next. It blows me away. The name of tonight's video, episode 20, Escalating Statements. God, that's a horrible picture, isn't it? Ugh. Escalating statements, folks. Listen to what Sproles tells these guys.
That to be an escalating statement.
All right. You got some more rounds because we'll go all night.
I didn't intend that to be an escalating statement. I intended that to be a de-escalating statement of, look, you keep doing what we said not to do. This is the way that we are going to gain compliance.
That don't bother me.
Okay. I didn't intend on that to be an escalating statement. I intended on that to be a de-escalating statement. And I just, for the love of God, I don't understand why, how. But before we even get to that, some of you, I think, are already talking about this. Why does this guy look like he is meat stuffed into a sausage casing? And he looks like he's red or about purple. He just always looks like you could take a needle and just pop him. For the love of God, watch this for a second.
To be an escalating statement. I intended that to be a de-escalating statement of look. You keep
This guy is, I don't know, man.
Keep doing what we said not to do. This is the way that we are going to gain compliance.
That don't bother me. Get off that don't bother me. You get it again, you'll get another one.
The sheriff says he used the beanbag shots to prevent Neal from hurting himself with the kicks.
I will ensure the safety of our staff, and I want to ensure the safety of our inmates. And again, there are reasons that we have tools to gain compliance. It's so we do not get officers hurt.
The sheriff shot Neal 4 times with beanbags. The inmate stopped kicking after he started bleeding heavily. He needed stitches in both legs for his wounds.
Look at the blood! Look at the blood. That looks like an actual bullet wound. Look at it, pouring blood.
So Rich Nye, 13 News.
Thank you, Rich. After the incident, the inmate Neal was transferred to a state prison because of safety concerns. He has another court hearing in Henry County. It's scheduled for next month.
Okay, now listen to me. Listen. Shame on that news organization for not asking any questions, for not mentioning the fact that he was shooting him point blank. Shooting him point blank. They never mentioned that. They never said that. They've never said that. I've not heard anyone say that. Sproles says, why do you think we've got tools? My thing is, why do you think you're a tool? Let's ask that. Why do you think you're a tool? When we can answer that, then we can maybe get behind everything else. They didn't ask if this was normal. They didn't ask about an SRT team. They didn't mention the blood. The sheriff has said that he's hurt not these deputies, but some deputies before. Now, I have not found record of that, and I am trying to get record of that. The other thing that I want to keep saying is I've heard a couple people continuing to talk about the fact that this was quote unquote non-lethal. Now that's wrong. Now listen, they didn't use that term, and I'm glad, because it's less lethal. All right, there's a difference. Listen, I could shoot you with a .40 caliber bullet, and that could be a less lethal shot, depending on where I shot you. If I shot you in the foot with a .50 caliber round, that could be a less lethal shot. If I shot you at center mass with a .50 caliber round, that would be a quite possibly, most definitely would be a lethal round. I could shoot you center mass at point blank range with a beanbag round. And yeah, depending on, hearing after that football player, where it struck you in the chest at what time of the rhythm, heart rhythm, you could have that como coriatis or whatever, and it could drop you like that. It could be a lethal round. Less lethal rounds simply mean the chances of being lethal are less. Okay, it says less lethal at like 20 feet or more. Absolutely. That's the other thing. The other issue is I wanted to know, because none of these people have asked the question. Not Travis Week, not anyone has asked any of these people here about the use of force continuum that law enforcement uses. And, I've just never really understood why that's not been a thing that they've brought up. And I'm going to try to, I've got this good standard here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to try. Hopefully I can get this on the screen the way that I want it to be. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to upload this. I hope this will show on the screen as I want it to show. This is the use of force continuum. Oh, look at that. Wait a minute. This is not what I'm trying to show you. That's the smart ass version. Hold on. That's the new use of force continuum. That's not what I wanted you to see. That's that's funny. Hold on here. This is the real one. Loads up. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so basically the same thing. Officer presence, verbal direction, soft empty hand techniques like pulling, directing, hard empty hand techniques, punching, strikes, intermediate weapons, which would be like your baton or your spray, taser. Now, it could absolutely be a less lethal. It could be a pepper ball. It could be beanbag round. Okay, and that's what goes on. And then you get into, and what you're talking about here is, you see it says officer injury potential, shows you if it goes up and down. A subject injury potential goes up and down. Subject may enter the continuum at any level. Officer may enter the level that represents a reasonable response to the perceived threat posed by the subject. Now, what they tell you is you generally want to go one step above where you're at. So, officer presence is a police vehicle or a uniform. Most people are just going to not do crime because of the officer presence. When you've got an officer telling you what to do, most people are going to direct, their lives by that, or an officer directing you one way or another. Basically, you had a man in a cell, not hurting himself, not hurting anyone else, and the sheriff came there. There was plenty of officer presence. They were giving him verbal direction, and then immediately they went to intermediate weapons. And in my opinion, at point blank range, they were using the less lethal in a way that could very well have been lethal. And so I just think that that's absolutely ridiculous. I think that the Channel 13 did a horrible job in covering this. They did not, I mean, they had my information. They did not reach out to us. They did not reach out anyone on our team. They did not reach out to any of the other, to my knowledge, any of the other officers that were there. I actually spoke to Rich Nye via Messenger, both before and after his trip to Henry County, and before and after the piece ran. Never once said anything to me. Never once asked any questions of me. Never once said anything to me. And I just thought, yeah, he's in the bag. This was definitely wrong what they did, and all I feel like was all they did was just open and shut. Like, they were shutting people up because they've been getting inundated with people sending these videos in. And now they've said, we've done the story. That's it. There's nothing more to it. We've seen the video. We're satisfied with what the sheriff says. No one's looking at the fact that this is a brand new sheriff. Doesn't have much time on, that doesn't have much leadership ability. What people don't realize about this sheriff is he honestly sits around and he listens to his radio when he's on the clock, when he's off the clock. I'm sure I've not asked Sheriff Skinner about this, but I'm not 100% sure that the sheriff of Delaware County listens to the radio all day when he's at work, when he's on the clock. I think that it's set up to where if there's an issue and there's something that he needs to know about, dispatch notifies him. One of his leaders in the field, one of the brass that's in the field, a sergeant, lieutenant, captain, corporal, someone calls him, a deputy for that fact, calls him if they need him, if they have something they need him to know. Now, I'm sure when he gets in the car, he listens to the radio, and I'm sure there's times he turns the radio on. If he knows that his guys are going to do something that is particularly dangerous, hell, he might be on the scene with them. But that's not every time. When he goes home, there might be times while he's at home, if he hears something or knows something, he might turn the scanner on or turn the radio on. But he does not do that. Click. He does not do that at all times. This guy, Sproles, listens to his radio 24 hours a day, on the clock, off the clock. I've heard someone say that he wears his earpiece while he's in church so that he can hear what's being said, what's happening. He did have his body cam on. Yeah, that's funny. It's really sad that the sheriff acts the way that he does, because what goes on is, in a lot of times, he is undermining the people on his department. He is no one wants the sheriff showing up at every scene. It basically, it takes the ability of their of the staff of the command staff to do their job. It makes all of the sergeants and lieutenants and captains feel like the sheriff does not have confidence in them. And let's face it, he's not in a position where he should make those people feel that way. He needs to be learning from those people. He needs to be listening from those people. Okay? Because he hasn't been in a leadership role. He is not a leader. He's been on the department for 3 years. So, I just... I'm shocked that more people aren't making a bigger deal about this. It's sad. And yeah, it's a control issue. It's a control issue. Okay, ending this. Lenny, are you here? Are you here still, Lenny? I don't know if you're here or not. I would hope of he said. I know you know, Joey. That's what's sad. I mean, it's a constitutional position, so you could run for sheriff. Anyone could run for hell. I mean, anyone should be able to run for sheriff, but the people should have enough common sense to weasel that out and wash that out. If you know, but it is what it is. It's just absolutely disgusting. Okay, so that's all I got to say on that. Shame, WTHR for not doing more. It would have been better if you would have just not said anything rather than to give him a little bit of, oh, they're on my side. You know what I mean? To hell with that. Okay, so Lenny asked me again to talk a little bit about the officers that were sentenced. Anyone with $75,000 and that can raise just a touch more can be sheriff. That's exactly right, Yoko. So, Lenny, I will send you, buddy, I'll send you the link to the fuller video that I did on this, which I did a longer video. But I'm disgusted that these guys at what these guys got. They should have got more. The officer that got 10 years was looking at, I think at one time they said he was looking at possibly as much as 60 years. I think that they said he was looking at up to 60 years. I believe he should have got that. The terror that he unleashed on the streets during his time on the road was insane. And it's not because it was like he was some badass cop. He wasn't. He was not. He didn't walk around all muscle man, bound, big, badass. It wasn't like he's not somebody that should have walked, walked down the street and people was like, oh God, that's bad Leroy Brown. No, he's somebody that people made fun of, that people saw as a coward. The only reason he was able to beat these people the way that he did is because he had help and he had people that could handcuff them, and he would beat on them after they were handcuffed. Chase Winkle and all of the police brutality that occurred in the city of Muncie for a couple of years that they were covering up and doing all of that. They literally ruptured someone's aorta, nicked someone's aorta. That's deadly force. Now, thank God the person got that fixed and it was taken care of, but that person's life has been changed for the rest of his life. He has to live in ways now that are different than he did beforehand. And for what? Because he had some cocaine in his pocket? Because he had a little meth? You know? I mean, look, I'm not the same as a lot of you guys, and you know that. And that's a fight that we've had before. It's a fight we can have another day. I'm not out here. I don't hate every cop. I'm not that way. I'm not going to be that way. I probably will never be that way. There are a lot of cops that I support. There are a lot of cops that I think do a damn good job. But there are a lot of cops that are pure trash. Pure trash. So the ringleader, Lenny, I'll pull him up and let you see him here. Stand by 1 second. Get this pulled up here.
Officer will spend 10 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to 11 counts of using excessive force and trying to cover it up. A judge sentenced Chase Winkle,
That's Chase
the son
Winkle.
of former police.
Chase Winkle was like the ringleader behind all of this. He was the main man. He was the guy that did the majority of this.
Chief Joe Winkle to a decade behind bars, followed by 2 years of supervised release. Winkle admitted to assaulting 5 suspects, including
5 suspects. Look at these people.
Manny Montero and Lonnie Gannum, which caused serious injuries to their heads and faces. Winkle also admitted to writing false reports to cover up his misconduct. He was convicted on 11 counts and had faced more than 100 years in prison. However, the court
Faced
took
more
into
than 100 years in prison, and he got 10.
account that Winkle pleaded guilty and accepted.
Okay, now, what we're looking at here is this is the main man, Winkle, okay? Here was Jeremy Gibson. He was the other one that was sentenced that day, and he got 14 months, okay? And he got two less. I mean, he deserved more. He was looking at 20 some years. This is Sergeant Joe Krasia. It shook my world to find out that man was involved. I want to say this. I want to say this again. This shook me to my core when I found out. And notice how I can say that without crying. This shook me to my core. I'm serious. I was shocked. I could not believe this man. This guy was a friend of mine. He is someone that I've I've never witnessed do anything wrong. I have worked next to. I have never witnessed this man do anything wrong. So I can tell you, there's times when even the people who we say, oh, that guy's a good guy, you never know what's really going on. You really never know what's going on. And so Doc Ivy was long ago. Doc Ivy was well before any of these guys. Doc Ivy would have been, he left in the early 2000s. Now, keep in mind, Doc Ivy is the brother of Richard Ivy, who's the current deputy mayor of the city of Muncie. Oh, yeah, there's more to add to this. Absolutely. Absolutely, there's more to add to this lineup. And you're exactly right. Winkle, the man in the bottom right there, his father was the chief of police. So, a lot of people felt pressured to do what he said or do what they could to help him. Absolutely. That's 100% right. Now, the other one here, this Jeremy Gibson, like I said, he didn't get enough time. I forget what this cat's name is. Because there's a couple of them, and he wasn't one that I knew. I can't think off my mind what his name was. If anyone else out there knows, Kurtz, maybe. I don't know if it was or not. Anyways, he got sentenced. Now, it was Dalton Kurtz. That's right. Dalton Kurtz. That's what I thought it was. So that takes care of the two on the bottom and the two in the left, the one on the left in the middle. The guy up here that looks like a absolute complete fucking weirdo. I mean, this is the weirdest. Absolutely, Joey. Yeah. This guy here on the end right here, his name is, let's see here. I want to pull this up. The guy on the end that looks really bizarre is Corey Posley. Now, he's a strange one because he's been off work for like literally forever, okay? And he's involved with this. Now, here's the funky thing. This guy took a plea deal. This guy took a plea deal. This guy took a plea deal. And this guy took a plea deal. This guy right here is the only one of them who said, nah, I ain't pleading. I'm going to trial. He went to trial, and during his first trial, the jury could not decide. They were stuck. So the judge declared a mistrial. He then sent it back and said it's up to the state, it's up to the United States government if they're going to move forward on retrying him or not. And they said, yes, hell yes, we are. So they are moving forward with trying him. That's why he's not. That's why he didn't take a plea. He literally was. He literally was. He's the only one of all the people indicted. Yeah. He went to trial, so it's really bizarre. It was a mistrial. It was a mistrial. So now they're going to charge him. I will say though, however, while he's been waiting, he was just arrested in Kokomo on July 10th for operating a vehicle while intoxicated. It says Kokomo officers responded to a crash at 5 a.m. on Friday on US 31 near mile marker 163.05. Upon arrival, officers spoke with one of the drivers, identified as Corey Posley, who informed officers that he was traveling on US 31 and rear-ended another vehicle. The driver of the vehicle told officers he saw Posley's vehicle approaching him quickly from behind before the collision. A witness told police officers that Posley was driving beyond the posted speed and making erratic changes. According to the department, police smelled alcohol on Posley's breath. An officer asked Posley if he was willing to submit to a breathalyzer. At that time, Posley informed police that he was an active officer with the Muncie Police Department and he had been an officer since 2018. Posley was then transported to the Howard County Criminal Justice Center, where a breathalyzer showed he tested over the legal limit. Posley is preliminarily charged with 2 counts of operating a vehicle while intoxicated. Muncie Police Department confirmed that Posley is currently on administrative leave. Posley is one of 4 Muncie police officers indicted in connection with the excessive force and obstruction investigation. His trial last month ended in a mistrial. New court date is set for September in that case. Now, what pisses me off about this is he is not an active officer. He should have informed them if he was trying to get away with anything that he is an inactive Muncie police officer. He's currently an officer and he is off on administrative leave. Unfortunately, and what's most ridiculous is it's been paid leave for the longest time. He's involved. You can, yes, you can say if you do not want it's now the thing is, it's not called a breathalyzer. It's called a data master. So, but people don't know. So in the state of Indiana, the breathalyzer is what you blow into on the side of the road. It's the little box that they come up and you blow into. Beep, and it tells them. And it is not admissible in court. It's just a tool to gauge. There are all kinds of stupid human tricks that they can perform. However, there are 3 that officers have to perform here in the state of Indiana. You have to do the one-leg walk and turn, okay, where you, excuse me, I mixed them together. You have to do the 9-step walk and turn, and then you have to do the one-leg lift, and then you have to do horizontal gaze nystagmus. At any point in that, then the officer can do the breathalyzer. Okay, then the officer must read you implied consent, and implied consent is something that everybody signs in every state. However, the law is different and they read differently in every state. But when you sign that, if you sign to get a driver's license, you have signed that you will, if asked, you basically implied consent. When you go to the BMV to get your license, if you get a driver's license, when you're there, you sign what's called implied consent, meaning in order to have that license by the state, you have implied consent that you will consent to a chemical test of your blood, breath, or urine upon being asked to. And so what the officer does is they normally pull it out of their pocket. I always act because I have it in my memory. I would say, I have implied consent to believe that you've operated a vehicle while intoxicated, and I must now offer you the opportunity to submit to a chemical test and inform you that the refusal to submit to a chemical test will result in the suspension of your license for 1 year. Will you now submit to a chemical test? I must now also offer you I must now also inform you that if you have refused in the past, a refusal at this point will result in the suspension of your license for 2 years. Will you now submit to a chemical test? Implied consent law says that an officer has to ask you 1 time. And if you say anything other than yes, it can be marked as a refusal. If you ask a question, it can be a refusal. If you say, well, I want to know, it's a refusal. because you've already signed and you've already read and you've already stated upon signing and upon receipt that you will do it, no questions asked. But a lot of officers will give you 2 or 3 times or whatever, and a lot of officers will explain it to you, whatever. If you're out there and they say, will you now submit to a chemical test, and you say yes, after you say yes, then if you want to take a blood test, you need to say, I want it to be a blood test. Most people don't want to do that, because imagine if you've smoked pot in the last couple days, but you've just drank tonight. The officer is going to take you and you're going to do the data master machine, and that data master is going to read that you've been drinking. If they take you and you go to the jail, or you go to the hospital and do a blood draw, now they're going to find out marijuana in your system. And depending on how much or whatever, hell, now maybe you might get dinged with that as well. There used to be an old little in run around this, and that is if you were drinking, you pull over and you shut up and you don't say anything. You refuse to do the test. You refuse everything. Now they have limited probable cause. The only probable cause that they could have is maybe smelling the alcohol or maybe seeing your eyes are bloodshot. And if you refuse to do the test, they would take you for OWI refusal. Yes, you lose your license for 1 year, but you more than likely could get out of an OWI charge. They started getting wise to that, and then what they started doing is everywhere in Indiana, at least, now does a warrant, basically. So what happens is if you refuse to do the implied consent, you refuse, it's marked as a refusal, you now lose your license for a year, and they just take you to the hospital, they get a warrant, and they get your blood. And so an OWI, if you it's a lose-lose. I always say this, if you want my God's honest truth, first of all, don't drink and drive, because you never know when the accident's going to kill some god-awful situation. You're going to kill a person, you're going to kill kids, you're going to kill yourself, okay? So don't drink and drive. But if you drink and drive and you get popped, your best bet, and I'm going to say, don't submit to searches. Don't do any of that. Lock your shit up and get out. But if you want in the state of Indiana, I tell people, do not talk to the cops, period. But if you want my God's honest, I'm thinking as a what's on your record criminal justice wise, this goes for you if you've never had a criminal charge. You've never had an OWI. Get out. Only submit to the test, the data master test. Do not do your walk and turn. Do not do any of those, but agree to implied consent. Go and do the breath test. Don't do the blood test. You don't need them getting needles and finding what's in your blood or not in your blood or whatever, poking around inside you. Submit only to the and I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, so this is not legal advice. This is just one buddy to another buddy. Submit only to the implied consent. Take the implied consent. Do your stint. Go to jail, sober up, go home, and then get on the diversion and go away. So that's you can get deferral diversion for that, and if you stay clean for a year, it goes off your record. You can refuse to do the walk test and all that. They can't force you to do that. Walk, you bastard! We're gonna get a warrant and we're gonna make you walk. You can refuse to do any of the tests. You can refuse to do gaze nystagmus, which is the gaze nystagmus, where they do the eye test. You can refuse to do the walk and turn. You can refuse to do the one-leg stand. But you can refuse to do any of that. The only thing, if you refuse to do implied consent, that card they read from that I just read you, then your license, no matter what, will be suspended for 1 year, at least. So that's just some of that. I would fail the one leg thing. Let me ask you this, Shockproof, if I can, and you don't have to answer if you don't want. Obviously, you're using a moniker, so no one knows who you are. Do you have a driver's license? Yeah, Lenny. So it's going to be weird. I can't wait to what's going to happen for this retrial. I don't know. It's going to be weird if this guy gets like out of it and then literally gets put back on the department. It's going to be weird. But now he's got an OWI to deal with. The department needs to get rid of this asshole as soon as possible. Period. They need to do what they can, find a way, get rid of this guy, and move on with themselves. He's innocent until proven guilty, and he's not been proven guilty yet. But all that means is I'm not gonna say anymore. I think he needs to move on. I don't know what he's doing. They need to lead by example, absolutely. Is there other MPD officers on administrative leave just milking the system? I have got a report that there is one other officer that on administrative leave, but I'm going to file a records request. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that as soon as I get off here. I'm going to file a records request, and I'm going to find that out first thing Monday. We'll find out if that is or not. Yeah, this dude's trying to go to jail. That's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to push it off as long as possible. Hey, he got a mistrial. He was close. He was damn close. Got to go through it all again. Now, what that does is that gives his team the chance to know what the prosecutors are throwing at him, but it gives the prosecutors a chance to shore up all their crazy shit. So it gives them both pros and cons. So no, the one expecting the baby's the one in the middle. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's not been convicted, so he's got the guy on the end here that doesn't have the sentence. He's the one that's not been found guilty yet. He got a mistrial, but the one in the middle is the one that's expecting a baby, and he'll be doing 14 months, but he won't be going until after the baby's born. So, hey, Ra, I would have said, let me go get it done. I would hate just, man, that would be like, I'm innocent until proven guilty. Absolutely, brother. I hear you. I hear you. And the thing is, and that's a way to do. That's a way to do it. I'm just thinking about what helps with the license, because even if you overcharge and beat the OWI case, your license will still be suspended, because the implied consent has nothing to do with the officer and the traffic stop. It has to do with the fact that you made the commitment with the BMV when you have a driver's license. If you have a driver's license, you made the commitment with them that you would take implied consent. So that's the fucked up thing about it. But it doesn't affect me. I'm a teetotaler, so take that, coppers. You lied. And lying isn't illegal. I lied. All right, you freaks. I'm getting off here. You have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is the big, big night. Tomorrow, it's going to be myself and the man on the left. going to be, I hope he's going to have his cowboy hat on and everything. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But it's going to be our interview with Mr. Roger Humphreys, who is a police officer. He is part of the Thin Blue Line, but he's also a part of those folks that have common decency and has a little bit of common knowledge and understands that people are people. And he wasn't ready to take any of Sheriff Sproles' shit that day. So I cannot wait to hear what he has to say. It's going to be so interesting to hear what's going on and what he thought about everything, what he's thought about the phone call, what he's thought about the emails, how his life has been, and what he's doing. So that will be here tomorrow at 9 p.m. I want to let everybody know, listen, that episode is already made. It is already up. The link for it. So what you got to do for that, if you go to YouTube right now, you can find the link for that. You can share it on your social media. You can do all sorts of things with it. You can get that information and put that out there in the world. Please help spread the word and get people here watching it, because it's going to be important to listen to what's going on. There are a lot of things going on with Henry County Sheriff John Sproles. This is just one aspect of it. So I can't wait to hear what he's got to say, and it'll be a fun interview. And then also Wednesday, we will have Ashley Grogg on. We'll try to schedule another time with the doctor to get the doctor and some more Anderson stuff going this way. And the postscript tonight for everyone, ladies and gentlemen, it's real easy. It's what it was earlier. I'm going to go back to it. I should have waited until then, but it is what it is. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Hey, friends, politicians don't love you. You shouldn't love them. It's weird and embarrassing. That's your postscript for tonight. And you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. See you tomorrow. God bless. Good night. I'm out. Goodbye.